This is the Volkswagen T-Cross, and VW are taking this type of car so seriously they've got several options. Obviously, if you've got loads of cash, there's a Volkswagen T-ROC. If you don't have as much cash but still a lot of cash, you've got the Tiguan Allspace, then you've got the Tiguan, then you've got the T-ROC, and now you've got this. But this is the baby one, starting from €22,500. So they use Cara Delevingne to promote this car on TV ads and any sort of online ads for the car. Unfortunately, for the next little while, you're stuck with me, but I will show you around in the T-Cross in huge detail. So hit that notification button and the subscribe button on the channel, and you'll get more videos like this when it's ready. It's also a pretty deceptively spacious car, so it doesn't look huge on the outside, but trust me, there's a lot going on inside. The back is this lovely sweeping reflector with the brake light in the back here, and there's kind of a red reflector part as well. And the boot, which is, remember, this car is based on the VW Polo, so the boot is probably the weakest point of the car, in just that it's a little bit small. So in the boot you get these little hingy hooky things. They are used for holding up your parcel shelf like that. If you're stuck at the side of a road and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you need to change a tire, which, by the way, this has an actual spare wheel and a jack and a wheel brace, there's no foam. But that's clever the way it just holds up that shelf for you, and you can root around and find things, or else ring the AA and go, I don't know how to change a tire, whichever the option is. And that does come out, so you can drop that down a bit. This is the clever bit about it. You can make that boot even deeper. I don't know what it is they say about people and blaming their tools, but told you it worked. So the boot is not ideal if maybe you've got 3 kids or you need to carry prams and the kind of unit things that they come with. However, the sound people at Volkswagen have noticed this and have made their rear seat adjustable, just like their 7-seaters. This gives you a much needed extra few inches in the boot, should you need them. Clever. And when you roll down the rear seats, you get just as big, if not bigger, rear space than the bigger T-ROC. And they've even included these little ties for seat belts, so when you pop down the seats, the seatbelt doesn't get caught. Genius. You can just close the boot, forget about how big it is, or small, and just look at the back, because it's beautiful. Now, a lot of you have been leaving comments on the channel saying, can you put car seats in and show you the difference in sizes? So there's 2. This is a smaller baby seat, slightly more grown-up seat. If you had a very skinny adult, they would fit in the middle. There's no center armrest here as well, just to give you an idea. The rear bench is just a little bit tighter. So that's your idea, that's the vibe if you have 2 child seats in the back. But what about adults? How many of them can you fit in? Well, keep watching and we'll find out. So with those seats out of the way, it's time to give you an idea of what it's like for actual fully grown adults. So head height, really, really good. There's plenty of space up there. You're not going to be struggling. My seat, driver's seat, is reasonably far back. That seat is all the way back, and there's still plenty of legroom, as you can see down here. Now, there is a hump on the floor, so your middle passenger will be straddling either side. It's quite a big hump, actually, in fairness. Down here you get 2 USB charging points, and there's a little bit of a storage area in here where you could kind of stick a mobile phone. The door bins are very generous. You can see the sides of them down here, and there's little bits of cargo storage areas at the back of these seats, and they're not netted, which means it's tidied away. It is probably more for 2 adults in the back, but certainly 3 kids, you'd have no problem. There's 2 sets of Isofix seats in the back, and there's a 3rd set of Isofix in this car. I told you it was bigger than it looks on the outside, because there's Isofix points at the front of the passenger seat as well. Oh, and there's little coat hooks here for your coats. Very posh. So if you haven't done it yet, now would be a great time to subscribe to the channel. By the way, on the R-Line spec, which this one is, you get privacy glass on the rear as well. Now, this model again has an option of keyless, so if you have the keys in your pocket, you just swipe the door and it opens. Simple as that. So jumping into the front, it's all very Volkswagen-y, which is a good thing, by the way. So you've got your engine stop start down here. Your screen, which is touchscreen and larger than you typically get in this segment of car, and it just looks cool when it fires up. You get your auto climate control, dual. Again, this car has the option of heated seats if you go for certain winter packs and stuff like that. Parking sensors, and down here you get 2 USB charging points again, which is generous. So in total you get 4 in this car, and you can get wireless charging as an option, which is down here. And if your phone works with it, happy days. You do get a manual gearbox as standard. This has the DSG one, which is so fast and very quick and so efficient. I'll explain more when we're doing the video and the driving part of it. Little 12-volt charging point here. It's not probably in the best place in terms of, you know, an eyesore thing, but there it is. A couple of air vents, keep it cool, and storage options which are down here. These, I suppose they're meant to be bottle holders, but they're not huge. There is a sliding armrest which pops out. Manual handbrake. Again, would it have killed them to put in a small little button one in this day and age, but nonetheless it's there. When you have the automatic, you just leave it in park anyway, so it's not really a big deal. So you get CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth streaming. Touchscreen has nav, it's quite fast to use. It's a slightly older style that Volkswagen would have used, so some of their newer cars don't have that display and setup anymore. And you still get knobs for volume and changing things like the zoom and the map. So it's not as distracting as some cars that solely rely on the screen to change things. And then obviously the fact that you have physical buttons for your aircon and stuff as well. You're not, again, delving behind layers on touchscreen and trying to drive and trying to cool yourself down at the same time. So that's all good in that sense. Driver's glove box. It's not huge, like that's with the manual inside, and you have your SD cards and stuff for your nav. Couple of storage holdery bits there, but it's not the biggest glove box in the world, but it's not the biggest car in the world, so you kind of let it away with it. Virtual cockpit, which looks very good. You've seen it in lots of Volkswagen, Audi, Skoda range at this stage, but it adds a huge level of class to the car and the information from it, and it's customizable. You can change how wide your sat nav is, and you can actually display your sat nav maps in there. So again, when you're driving the car, your sat nav and your information is never too far away. Now the plastics up here are scratchy, but it's made by Volkswagen, so even though they're scratchy and they're plasticky, it's all so solid. There's nothing here moving. There's no buttons that feel flimsy. Everything that presses in is stamped. It all feels good. This is the R-line steering wheel, perforated around the side. You get your controls here, your radar guided cruise control, which should all be controlled by touch of a button there, and change your displays from here. And that steering wheel feels really chunky. It's like something out of an executive saloon type of chunky, so it feels great in the hand as well. Other safety bits on the R-line version of this beautiful coloured T-Cross is rear traffic cross warnings are on the back of the car, lane departure and blind spot here in the wing mirrors. Also some exterior bits. These are the really bright LED lights, fog lights, which have a nice little chrome surround on them as well. So just the front of the car looks nice and mean in a good way. Hakuna Matata. In case you're wondering, the colour of the T-Cross in this is Hakuna Matata. In case you're wondering, the colour in the T-Cross that was in this... In case you're wondering, the colour of the T-Cross featured in this video is Makina Turquoise, which really does turn heads. A lot of people this week have been going, huh? What's that? Beautiful, popping, eye-catching colour. It is obviously an optional extra in metallic form. And the road tax, even if you go for the automatic 7-speed DSG gearbox, is only €200, so it's cheap to run. And if you want to find out how easy on juice the T-Cross in this petrol version with 115 brake horsepower has been, stay watching. I'll review when we hit the roads in the car in just a few minutes from now. If you go for the R-Line kit, on the outside you get the badging, obviously chrome strips around here. You get these optional and upgraded again with the R-Line wheels, 18-inch diamond cut with black around the sides, and probably as easy as hell to curb, but they do look beautiful.
Everywhere you go, light follows.
What's the T-Cross like on the road? Let's jump in and have a little look. Don't forget to hit subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification button if you haven't done so yet, and you'll get a video on your device when a new one is ready to go. One of the main things about the T-Cross is the fact that it feels so much bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside. It's a clever use of space the way Volkswagen have achieved the dimensions of it. Now, if you get the optional 7-speed DSG gearbox, you know, Volkswagen just do automatics so well. They do them better than anybody pretty much. You get paddles behind the steering wheel, which involve you in driving the car, should you wish, but to be honest with you, the gear changes are so fast, they're so slick, it's not really something you're going to be bothered with. Don't let the fact that it's a 3-cylinder engine put you off either. It's not underpowered at 115 brake horsepower. There's plenty of power. Yes, if you press on, you get the odd feeling of 3-cylinder sound, but you're not going to be driving like that in city centre environments where this car is going to spend a huge amount of its time. And even then, if you're using it to overtake or use torque on motorways, you don't have to rev the nuts off the car. And when you do, that's where you get the 3-cylinder sound. Anything that is in a reasonable part of the power band, you don't really hear it. Whether it's a combination of how they've refined the engine a bit more, insulation, I'm not sure, but you will really struggle to very often hear that this is a 3-cylinder engine because it just doesn't sound like it. It's quite an enjoyable car to drive from the driving position. It's a fun car, it's engaging enough to drive in, handles very well. You can have some fun around corners, and dare I say it, the kind of love affair people had with the Skoda Yeti, I think the T-Cross could be in that sort of segment of car where people who get to experience it will fall just a little bit in love with the capabilities of it. Yes, it has a kind of small boot, but that aside, it's a very useful car, and the fact that they put a third Isofix seat in the front passenger side gives you many more options if you are a 3-children family. So this particular journey I'm on today, I've done 74 kilometers and I've averaged just over 8 litres per 100 kilometers. Hill start assist comes in the car as well. It means the car won't roll backwards on hills, but it also has hill descent control. So if you're going down hills, it applies a little bit of gentle braking, and it means the car doesn't freewheel off onto a life of its own. Now, on these 18-inch alloy wheels, bumps are a little bit harder. That is to be expected. The R-Line gives you a slightly stiffer suspension as well. So if you do go for upgraded wheels, such as the 18-inch, you can expect a slightly firmer ride. And that might be something to think about, although your T-Cross will look a lot better with bigger, sexier alloy wheels, there's no doubt. If you go for a standard enough T-Cross and don't go mad on the extras and lovely aesthetic things like the R-Line packages, you're getting into a brand new car for €22,500 with a Volkswagen badge on it. You also get emergency braking, which means if the car sees an object, a pedestrian or a car in front, and it doesn't think you're going to stop, it'll do that for you. It's a very handy feature. A lot of modern cars are coming with it, and you get it as standard on T-Cross models. Add that to lane keep assist, and that will keep the car between the ditches and certainly in between broken white lines and solid white lines on the road. So if you're watching this video and you haven't driven a new car or you haven't upgraded your car in quite a while, it's going to be an awful lot of safety features on the T-Cross that will probably seem very impressive to you. The other is blind spot. Anything in your blind spot, literally it does as it says. You'll get an orange alert in your wing mirrors. They don't beep, but you really would find it difficult not to notice that blinking orange light that will warn you there's something that you can't see that the car can. So to sum up, a cool looking car, lots of nice safety features as standard, and if you go for optional extras, you'll end up with something that is really eye-catching. But certainly interior space, legroom, head height are all very good. So I've been pleasantly surprised by the T-Cross. Thanks for watching the video. If you've got a comment or a question, you know what to do by now, and like the video if you've learned something and enjoyed watching it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it really will be a great time to do it. It helps support the channel, and while you're at it, tap the notification bell icon and you'll get a notification next time there's a new video. You'll get more information on Volkswagen.ie. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review of the all-new T-Cross.